Welcome back, my lovely 7th graders. I hope that you and your family are fine. I'm still working in Unit 10 in your students' book, page 86 to 88, your workbook, page 77 to 79. Your homework is worksheet 8 in your booklet. You can do your homework and send it to me after finishing this video. So after we have read the text gap years, we are going to practice the new vocabulary that we were introduced to later. If you remember, we read a text at the beginning of the unit with the title gap years, and we identified gap year with the definition. It is a break that students take before or after college. They gain experience or they work in a regular type of jobs so they can collect money or to think or to have a great motivation to complete their studying. Also, we read about the 3 students who are going to spend their gap years in a very different way. Some of them were traveling to other countries to work there in voluntary or paid jobs, and some of them were traveling to restore an ancient place, to work in a school, or to work in a animal center. So let's discuss together the vocabulary. Open your class book, page 86. The page is with the title Vocabulary Gap Years Activate. The question says, complete these sentences with the words from the box. The words in the box, we discussed them and their definition in the previous video. I have the words charity, coach, demanding, finance, full-time, ideal, opportunity, outdoors, post, profession, responsibilities, restore, rewarding, visa, voluntary. Now read the sentences and try to put the correct word in each sentence. The first sentence, I work for a that looks after children without parents. Number 2, my dad has bought an old sports car, but he says he's going to it so that it looks new again. 3, my mother has got a good teaching at the university. She really likes it. 4, when we were at the seaside, we had to go sailing. We really enjoyed it. 5, when I leave university, I don't want to work in an office. I want to work. 6, it isn't a time job. He only works 15 hours a week. 7, I really had a good time on the course and I learned a lot. It was very. 8, they don't pay him to train the school football team. It's a job. 9, you need a passport and a to go to China. 10, the internet is an place to find information about jobs. All the information is there. 11, my brother is a doctor and he's been in the medical for 3 years. 12, he hurt his leg 5 years ago and he can't play anymore, so he's the team. 13, your in the job will be to meet visitors and show them the museum. 14, Sam likes his job, but he works 12 hours a day and he's always exhausted. It's very 15. We want to travel around the world, so we are working for 6 months to the trip. So out of the meaning of these sentences, you can guess out which word to use. Now let's move together to the extend part. First of all, we are going to talk about synonyms. Synonyms, it's not a new idea for us. We are going to talk about words that has the same meaning, different spelling, but with the same meaning. If you take a look at exercise number 1, which says match the words with their synonyms, we have words from 1 to 8 and words from A to H. We have to match the words which has the same meaning. Two words have the same meaning, match them. So in number 1, which is already done in your book, I have the word ideal. It has the same meaning of perfect. Number 2, I have the word outdoors. 3, post. 4, opportunity. 5, restore. 6, coach. 7, responsibilities. 8, demanding. On the other side, I have the words A, trainer. B, repair. C, chance. D, perfect. E, duties. F, job. G, hard. H, outside. So try to match each word with its synonym. Check your answers out of this key answer in exercise number 1. In exercise number 2, with the title The World of Work, I have several work expressions. We are going to match them with their definitions. I have work expressions. What we are going to do in this exercise is we are going to match the work expressions with their definitions. I have the group from 1 to 8 and from A to H. Try to match each word expression with its definition. I have to apply for a job, to offer someone a job, to resign from a job, to be in charge of a department, to have an interview, to give someone the sack, to go on a training course, to work part-time. The definitions are A, to work fewer hours than people normally work, to go to a meeting about a possible job, to have a position of responsibilities, to tell someone they can't work for a company anymore, to attend a series of lessons to learn about a job, to tell a person he or she can work in your company, to ask to work for a company, to leave a company. Try to match each work expression with its definition, then check your answers from the key answer. In exercise number 3, we are going to complete the text with the correct expressions from exercise 2. Read the text carefully and try to use the correct expressions. After you do the exercise, check your answers from the key answer. In exercise number 4, we are going to discuss when to use the word job and the word work. The word job is specific. You use it when you are talking about a specific profession. The word work, you use it when we are talking about a general work. The word work could be a noun and a verb. The word job, it is only a noun. Now complete the sentences with job, jobs, or work. In number 1, my brother's got a new job in an office. Number 2, they are doing voluntary with young people. 3, I want to leave early today. She likes her, but the pay isn't very good. 5, there are lots of good on the internet. The people at bought me a birthday present. Do it alone, then check your answers from the key answer. Now let's move together to the grammar part in Unit 10. The grammar part for this unit is with the title Going To. In your student book, page 87, in your workbook, page 78. Now let's discuss why do we use the structure of be going to? How do we use it in affirmative sentences, in questions, and in negative sentences? First of all, we use the structure of be going to talk about the plans for the future. So when you are planning for the future, you can use the structure be going to. So we are talking about the future, things that you are going to do in the future. First, let's start with the affirmative sentences. We all know that a sentence in English starts with a subject, then we have the verb, then the complement or the object. So now let's talk about a sentence with the subject I. When I have a sentence with the subject I, you are going to use am going to, and pay attention that after am going to, you are going to use the infinitive form of the verb, the base form of the verb, without any additions. Then we have the complement of the sentence. When we are talking about a singular subject like he, she, it, Ahmad, or any other singular subjects, you are going to use is going to with the infinitive verb or the base form of the verb. When we are talking about a plural subject, we, you, they, we are going to use are going to with the infinitive form of the verb. Pay attention that be is going to change according to the subject. If I have I, it's going to be am. If I have singular subject, it's going to be is. If I have a plural subject, it's going to be are. Now take a look at these examples. In number 1, I have the subject I with the verb am going to travel. Pay attention that after to I have used the base form of the verb which is travel to India next year. I used next year because we are making plans for the future. Number 2, Sally is going to study at Harvard University. So Sally singular, and that's why I used is going to. After to, I use the base form of the verb which is study. We, it is a plural subject, so we use are going to. After to, the base form of the verb which is move to a new house next week. So I used also next week because we are making plans for the future. Now together, let's talk about negative sentences. We are going to talk about the same subjects, I, singular subjects or plural subject with the verb, but here we are going to use the negative form of the sentence. And we all know when we are talking about negative, we are going to add not to the sentence. So I am not going to, he is not going to, we are not going to. Let's take a look at the examples. I am not going to travel to India next week. Sally isn't going to study at Harvard University. We are not going to move to a new house next week. So when we are changing the sentence into negative, we are adding not. Now let's talk about questions. We all know that we have two types of questions. We have yes or no question or the WH questions. First of all, we are going to start with the yes or no question. The structure of the question is going to be as the following. Am, is, or are. Of course, according to the subject. If the subject is I, you are going to use am. If the subject is singular, you are going to use is. If the subject is plural, you are going to use are, plus going to with the infinitive form of the verb and the complement, and don't forget to use a question mark. Take a look at these examples. Is she going to study at Harvard University? Pay attention please to the answer. Yes, she is, or no, she isn't. The second example, are we going to move to a new house next week? Yes, we are. No, we aren't. So the answer is yes or no. And here is the structure in front of you. Move to the WH questions. WH questions, when we are using words like where to ask about place, what to ask about thing, who to ask about a person, and when to ask about time. And you can also use which to ask about things. So the question is going to start with the WH word, like when, where, what, or who, followed by is, am, or are. Then we have the subject. After the subject, the verb going to with the infinitive type, or the infinitive form of the verb, and the complement, and at the end we have a question mark. Let's take a look at the examples. Where is she going to study? She is going to study at Harvard University. What are you going to do next year? I'm going to travel to India. So there is a big difference between the yes or no questions and WH questions. Here is the structures in front of you, and here is the answers. After that, I want you to move to your class book, page 87. Let's do the exercises together. Try to do them and then check your answers out of this key answer. Here is the answers of exercise number 2. Move to the X block. Here is the answers of exercise number 1. Exercise number 2, which depends on the answers of number 1, is a homework. Do it and send me your answers. Now we are going to move to the skills, jobs, and works. Skills, vocabulary in your class book, page 88. We are going to talk about several jobs. Now let's discuss together the meaning of these jobs, or what are the responsibilities of each job. First of all, waiter. Waiter is someone who works in a restaurant, serves dishes, and deals with clients. Actor. Actor is someone who takes part in plays, movies, and has a role to play. Artist is someone who is interested in art. Bus driver is someone who drives a bus. Chef, it is someone who is usually working in hotels, restaurants, and is responsible of cooking food for the clients. Cleaner is someone who is responsible of the hygiene of the place in restaurants, companies, hotels, who cleans the place. Doctor, someone who is taking care of patients, give them medicine, and so on, usually works in a hospital. Farmer is someone who is working in a farm, planting plants and taking care of animals. Politician is someone who is interested in politics, like a minister, for example. Inspector, it is someone who is working with the police to kiss out or to solve crimes. Translator is someone who is interested in languages, and he translates from one language to another. For example, to translate Arabic into English or English into Arabic. Nurse is someone who is taking care of patients in hospitals and helps a doctor. Photographer is someone who takes photos. Factory worker is someone who works in factories with goods. Hairdresser is someone who dresses your hair, works in beauty centers or in salons. Secretary is someone who is responsible of an office. So, these are the jobs that we have in our book. Now let's discuss this game together. What we have to do is to guess out the job that the question is talking about. We have jobs that we are going to write across and jobs that we are going to write down. Let's start with number 1, which is down. Who sings songs? What do we call someone who sings songs? Number 2, who fights fires? Who fights fires? 3, who serves food in a restaurant? Serves dishes, dealing with clients. Who? Number 4, across. Who fights crime? Number 5, who studies at school? Number 6, who drives a truck? 7, who teaches students at school? 8, who cooks in a hotel or restaurant? 9, who looks after sick people and helps doctors? 10, who takes care of teeth? 11, who treats patients, sick people? 12, who drives a bus? 13, who brings our mail? Do it and send it to me. Now, we are going to move to your workbook with the key answer for pages 77, 78, and 79. Here is the key answer for the exercises on page 77, exercise 1, exercise 2, exercise 3, and exercise 4. These exercises which are related to the vocabulary part. Next, key answer, workbook, page 78, exercise number 1. Exercise number 2, it is a homework. And exercise number 3. These exercises are related to the grammar part. Now, key answer, workbook, page 79. Exercises which are related to the skills, jobs and work. Exercise number 1, exercise number 2, exercise 3, and exercise 4. I want you to pay attention to exercise 4 when we are changing the nouns into jobs by adding ist, er, or or. There is no specific rule to follow. You can only memorize them. This is a short message for you. As your teacher, I promise you that I'll always be in one of 3 places. 1, in front of you to guide you, teach you, lead you by example and cheer you on. 2, beside you so that you'll not walk alone and I can catch you when you stumble. 3, behind you to give you a gentle push in the right direction, knowing that I've got your back. Your teacher, Islam Hmidan. That's it for our class for today. If you have any questions, you can contact me. Thank you.